A good night of Shabbos, everyone. A message that touches everybody. Sefirah omer. This week's Parsha in America, we're talking about the holidays. Right now in Eretz Yisrael, we're living through Sefirah omer. So we can ask the question, it's a very valid question. Why do we say Shechiyanu in the midst of Sefirah omer? We understand that whenever we hit holidays, we hit these incredible moments, we say Shechiyanu. So the Baal Emor says, the reason we don't say Shechiyanu, there's many, many answers to this question. The Baal Emor's answer is that we don't say Shechiyanu because Shechiyanu was said over joyous things. And during this period of time, besides the fact that Rabbi Akiva's students died, besides the fact that there were terrible tragedies that happened during the time of the Crusades, this whole mitzvah is really a zecher l'mikdash. The whole way that we perform it is a remembrance for the temple. The fact that we don't have a temple nowadays, we can't offer the omer offering. We're living really, on some extent, we're living in the past. And therefore, when we're living and we're thinking about what happened, it's a sad time. And because it's a sad time, because it's a time that is a sad reminder, so therefore we don't say Shechiyanu. There's another answer brought by many in the commentaries that the reason we don't say Shechiyanu is because Shechiyanu, v'kiyamanu, v'giyal, as manazem means that blessed is God who has kept us alive and brought us to this particular time. And how lucky we are to have reached this milestone. Only problem is that it's not really a milestone. The milestone doesn't happen until the 50th day. That's when we should count Shechiyanu, but not Shechiyanu every day or at the beginning of the count, because we haven't yet reached the milestone. And Shechiyanu is the thing of the milestone. Beautiful. And you could go those answers and very nice. You've answered the question. But now let's analyze that for a second, because the two answers are very different from each other. One of them is saying because it reminds us of a terrible past, and the other one is saying is because we haven't yet gotten to the place that we need to get to. We haven't gotten to the future. A lot of times, people ask the question, whenever you have two different answers like this, they'll ask, okay, which one do we hold by? Right? What's the right answer? There's no right answer. Not only is there no right answer, we hold by both of them. Because what they're teaching me is that I have to look backwards, but I also have to look forwards. And that I can't just look forward and I can't just look backwards. If I look backwards, I wallow in the past. That's a dangerous thing, it's debilitating. If all I do is look forward, so then I don't have no real direction of how I'm going forward because I'm not learning from my past, but rather I have to have both of them. I have to have the Baal Emor, I have to have the other commentaries. I have to have that whole thing together to be able to know where I was and to be able to know where I'm going to. And that's really the beginning of the count. Today is the first day. Today is the Exodus, the day after the Exodus of Egypt. And then we count 1 day, 2 days, 3 days from that event towards the next events, which is the event of giving of the Torah. You know, we don't even wait until another day. We're still in the middle of Pesach when we start counting the omer, because we're saying to ourselves, we're making a statement that, you know what, the past is important, but the past is only there in order to be able to get us to march towards the future. Look, we had a lot of milestones in our lives, a lot of things that happen. And if all we do is celebrate milestones about something in the past and we don't look at it for the present and the future, so then the celebration of those milestones are nothing. Look, this year Lag BaOmer, I think, is going to be a very important celebration, because I think during the celebrations of Lag BaOmer, we have to spend some time thinking about the fact that last year on Lag BaOmer, we lost 46 beautiful Jewish lives, and that there was this terrible tragedy that happened. And I'm not sure what to do with that tragedy. I'm not sure where to put it. There are many, many contemporary thoughts about that, but I'm not sure where to put it. But all I know is that if I don't look backwards, I'm not going to be able to go forwards. I can't stay in the past. I can't say, you know what, let's cancel Lag BaOmer because something terrible happened. But I have to say, because something terrible happened, it's got to inform the way I'm going to commemorate Lag BaOmer and what I'm going to be thinking about this Lag BaOmer and the way I'm going to be looking at Lag BaOmer towards the future. And I think that's like every single day in our lives, every single event in our lives. Things happen in the past. The whole concept of truth is that way. You look back in order to see what's going to be in the future. That's the way we have to live our lives. Look backwards, but look backwards to use it as the fuel, as the power to go forward and to be able to march into the future. This should be a beautiful week for everybody. It should be an uplifting week when we start to understand what Lag BaOmer is, and we start to understand where last year's events fit into the whole thing. When we start to make sense of that, it should be something that encourages us, lifts us up, something that helps us march into the future as we continue our march into the ultimate future, into the time of the receiving of the Torah, and in the time ultimately of Yemei Mashiach. Have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing Shabbos, everyone.